50 craziest state laws from around the United States. There's no doubt about it, there are some crazy, bizarre state laws that exist in the United States. Sure, they may have made sense when they were written, but today these truly weird state facts about American laws are enough to make anyone question why they were created in the first place, not to mention they make for some great random trivia to stump your friends. Who knew, for instance, that it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub in Arizona, or that you technically can't send your friends a surprise pizza in Louisiana? Many of these antiquated laws may no longer be enforced today, but it's definitely still a blast to think about how they were once necessary, and somehow still exist, in some cases. From random facts about food to truly ridiculous rules about animals in every state, get ready to laugh, gawk, and master your side eye while clicking through the most absurd laws and bans in the great United States. In Alabama, it's illegal to drive blindfolded. Sounds like word didn't make it to everyone in the Yellowhammer state about the common phrase keep your eyes on the road. One Alabama law prohibits driving while blindfolded. Our eyes are wide open after hearing this one. In Alaska, you can't put an animal in the back of an open vehicle. To a dog, nothing sparks more joy than the cool breeze of the open road. However, in Alaska, the back of an open vehicle is off limits unless the dog's tail wags 46 inches or higher. The law was put into effect after one pup was reported as a public nuisance. Rough life. In Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. In the 1920s, a local dam broke, flooding a rancher's home. The rancher's donkey had become accustomed to sleeping in the bathtub, which filled with water and whisked him miles away. After working to rescue the animal, the town passed a law that prohibits donkeys from sleeping in the bathtub, though it's okay for them to stand in one. In Arkansas, you can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. A hangry fool may be to blame for this law, but hey, most of the sandwich shops are closed in the sleepy state of Arkansas by 9 p.m. anyway. If you do feel the urge to honk after hours, you will be disturbing the peace and you will still be hungry. In California, it's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before 7 a.m. We're not entirely sure how this bizarre law came about, but according to California.com, the city of Berkeley, CA prohibits anyone from whistling for their lost canary before the wee hours of 7 a.m. Here's to hoping we don't lose our canaries. In Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch. Boulder busted the University of Colorado for burning couches, causing a law to go into effect that keeps couches and porches mutually exclusive. This law is currently active, but the verdict is still out as to whether it actually prevented any couch bonfires. In Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce. Here's a law that puts Connecticut farmers in quite a pickle. In 1948, 2 men were arrested for selling pickles that were unfit for human consumption. Discussing ways to check for good pickles, officials declared that a pickle is legitimate only if it bounces. The pickles in question did not bounce, so the 2 men were arrested and fined, and the pickles were destroyed. In Delaware, you can't sell dog hair. State residents of Delaware are barred from selling the hair of a dog or cat. We wonder how much money residents used to be able to cash in for all the hair left on the sofa. In Florida, legal parking fees toward animals must be paid. Sounds like Jumanji was real once upon a time in Florida, because legal fees have to be paid for animal parking, including elephants, camels and horses. According to Country Living, this law took effect in the 1920s, when the Ringling Bros. Circus moved its winter show operations to Florida. In Georgia, it's illegal to live on a boat for more than 30 days. Oh booey. If you're planning to retire on a boat, the Peach State is definitely not the place for you. According to state law, it is prohibited to live on a boat for more than a month. In Hawaii, it's illegal to place a coin in one's ear. Magic shows must be boring in the Rainbow State. Apparently, this strange law was enacted to protect the Kingdom of Hawaii coinage, when Hawaii officially joined the United States in 1900. In Idaho, it's illegal to sweep debris into the streets. One man's trash is certainly not another man's treasure in Idaho, as it's illegal to sweep debris onto streets, highways, alleys, or any road used for public travel. If only other cities would enforce this law. In Illinois, it's legal for underage culinary students to drink alcohol. In 2012, the state passed a law nicknamed Sip and Spit, which allows culinary students under 21 years of age to legally taste, by sipping and spitting alcoholic beverages, based on the reasoning that students need to learn how to taste wine during their early years of culinary school. Cheers to a well-rounded, or should we say full-bodied, learning experience. In Indiana it's illegal to ride a horse above 10 mph. Hopefully your horse has a speedometer. No horse shall be driven at a speed above 10 mph in Indiana, due to high-speed horse races back in the day. In Iowa, you can't throw a brick onto a highway. This corn state law seems to be written in stone. Throwing bricks, or any other dangerous instruments or toys, for that matter, onto a highway, street, or any public ground is prohibited in Iowa, unless you have written permission from the city council. In Kansas, tire screeching is banned. Another disturbing the peace victim for ya. If you live in Kansas, make sure your gears are greased and your tires are checked, as tire screeching is not only considered unlawful, but painfully annoying to listen to. In Kentucky, a woman cannot marry the same man 4 times. According to Women's Day, a law in Kentucky forbids a woman from marrying the same man more than 3 times. Hopefully, 3rd time really is the charm. In Louisiana, it's illegal to send a surprise pizza. Well, we sure do wish this would happen more to us, but sending an unprompted pizza is actually considered harassment in Louisiana. Triple check your address if you live in the Pelican State, or else you may be handing over a $500 fine. In Maine, it's illegal to park in front of Dunkin' Donuts. You don't even know how much the town of South Berwick, Maine, loves its Dunkin' Donuts coffee. This law was enacted because the coffee and donut chain is a hot spot and the parking lot can turn into a mega traffic jam. Talk about a caffeine rush. In Maryland, sleeveless shirts are banned in public parks. You definitely won't like this one if you're a fan of muscle tees. In Baltimore, it's technically considered a park rule violation to be in a public park with a sleeveless shirt. Yes, even if you're out for a run. In Massachusetts, it's illegal to tell fortunes without certification. Another hurdle, a fortune teller must live in Massachusetts for at least 1 year in order to apply for a license. This law helps prohibit psychics from taking all of your moolah in exchange for false predictions. In Michigan, you can't sell your vehicle on a Sunday. This law was enacted way back in 1953. It is unlawful to sell, trade or buy motor vehicles on a Sunday in Michigan due to religious reasons. According to the Wolverine State, time is better spent with family, friends or at church. In Minnesota, dirty tires are banned. Driving through Minnesota soon? Make sure to get your car washed prior, as dirty tires are considered a public nuisance if they deposit mud, dirt, or other substances on a street or highway. In Mississippi, nutrition labels cannot be enforced. In 2013, lawmakers barred towns from forcing restaurants to include nutrition information or calorie counts on menus. The same bill, also known as the anti-Bloomberg bill, bans communities from requiring restaurants to limit portion sizes. At least you're kept in the dark when it's cheat day. In Missouri, bear wrestling is banned. We all love a good bear hug now and then, but the real deal is outlawed in Missouri. This law was initiated due to animal cruelty violations, and is still in effect today. In Montana, it's illegal to give a rat as a present. Bad news if you were planning to have a pet rat in Big Sky Country. In Montana, it is unlawful to raise, sell, or give away rats except as food for reptiles, birds of prey, or both. In Nebraska, you can't get married if you have a venereal disease. According to this law, a person afflicted with a venereal disease, that's a nice way of saying STDs, can't marry in the state of Nebraska. In Nevada, it's illegal to sit on sidewalks. The Silver State never sleeps, or even rests for that matter. It's unlawful to sit or lie down on public sidewalks in Reno, Nevada, as it interferes with the primary purpose of the sidewalk and threatens public safety. In New Hampshire, it's unlawful to pick up seaweed off the beach. In 1973, New Hampshire outlawed carrying or picking up seaweed off the beach at night. It's rumored that in colonial times, seaweed was used as fertilizer and was thus a hot commodity. In New Jersey, bulletproof vests are banned while committing a crime. Amended in 1999, this Garden state law prohibits people from wearing a bulletproof vest while you're committing, or attempting to commit, a crime. If caught, a person can be charged separately for it. In New Mexico, idiots are banned from voting. One law in the state of New Mexico prohibits idiots as well as insane persons convicted of a felonious or infamous crime from voting. To our knowledge, this crazy law isn't enforced elsewhere. In New York, slippers are banned after 10 p.m. Bad news for those who love rocking some fashionable, comfy slippers all day and night around the house. One old law says that slippers are not to be worn after dark in New York, though we can't imagine how this law exactly came about. In North Carolina, drunk bingo is unlawful. How's this for a party foul you never saw coming? Apparently, it's illegal in North Carolina to sell or consume any alcoholic beverage in a room while a bingo game is being played. In North Dakota you can't shoot fireworks after 11 p.m. 4th of July must be pretty tame in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Fireworks are banned after 11 p.m., as it is a violation of disturbing the peace. However, you're safe to fire as early as 8 a.m. Fireworks and eggs. Anyone? In Ohio, it's illegal to sell dyed chickens. Rainbow rabbits and chickens are banned from all sales displays in Akron, Ohio, due to animal cruelty violations. Buy peeps instead. In Oklahoma, tripping a horse is outlawed. It is prohibited to promote, engage in or be employed at a horse tripping event in Oklahoma after it was ruled unlawful due to animal cruelty. In Oregon it's illegal to go hunting in a cemetery. Most people bring flowers to a cemetery, but apparently some brought guns back in the day. This became illegal in the Beaver State after a hunter was charged with harvesting an animal on cemetery grounds. In Pennsylvania you're breaking the law if you pay a psychic. Fortune tellers in the Keystone State probably aren't too psyched about this ban, but it's actually illegal in Pennsylvania to engage in things like fortune telling, tarot card reading, or the like for monetary compensation. You'll have to go somewhere else if you want to get your palms read. In Rhode Island it's illegal to race a horse on a highway. This old law from the Ocean State prohibits racing or testing the speed of a horse over a public highway. Failure to comply will result in a $20 fine or imprisonment of 10 days or less. In South Carolina you can't play pinball if you're a minor. Sorry, kids. Minors under 18 years old aren't allowed to play a pinball machine in South Carolina, and if temptation gets the best of you, you will be handed a status offense violation. Better stick to harmless board games at home. In South Dakota it's illegal to sleep in the cheese factory. Apparently, this was outlawed with the same logic behind not falling asleep at the wheel. It's not the wisest idea to be operating large machinery while dozing off. However, if the cheese is packaged you're in the clear to work around the clock. In Tennessee it's illegal to share your Netflix password. Passed in 2011, this law is directed at hackers who sell login credentials in bulk. However, other individuals, your friends, who share passwords and don't live under the same roof are also included. Oops. In Texas you can't sell a human eye. Other human organs and tissues are included in this law, too, like the kidney, liver, heart, lung, pancreas, bone or any other organ that doesn't include hair or blood. In Utah biting is banned in boxing. All we can say is the match that made passing this law necessary was probably nothing like the studio class that you took last week. Unfortunately, the origin is unknown, but maybe it's best to keep this one under wraps. In Vermont, it's illegal for women to wear fake teeth without their husband's approval. Here's one jaw-dropping law for you. In Vermont, it's technically mandatory for women to get written permission from their husbands if they want to opt for false teeth. Better let your hubby know you're eyeing those shiny veneers. In Virginia you can't go trick-or-treating if you're over 14 years old. In Chesapeake City, children over the age of 14 are banned from trick-or-treating due to mass complaints of older teens wreaking havoc on Halloween. The same ordinance also prohibits trick-or-treating after 8 p.m. In Washington it's illegal to attach a vending machine to a utility pole. Strange as it sounds, it's unlawful in the Evergreen State to commit this act without permission of the utility involved. The logic is that it's a hazard to the lives of electrical workers. In West Virginia hats are banned in theaters. We all have bad hair days every once in a while, but it's a no-go if you're planning to wear a hat to the movies, as one old law bans the wearing of hats in theaters and performances, based on the fact that they obstruct other people's views. In Wisconsin, butter substitutes are banned without permission. Apparently, nothing is better than Wisconsin's butter. A public eating establishment may not serve margarine as a substitute for butter unless requested by the customer in fear of sudden allergic reactions. In Wyoming, buildings that cost $100,000 plus must display pricey art. New buildings that cost such a pretty penny to build must have 1% of funds allocated to art for the building. This law was enacted thanks to NASA's mission to strengthen state art agencies. And that will conclude the 50 craziest laws of each state in the United States.